Hello, it's Bert, Avi, and Andrew here. We're on our second video discussion about the Fountainhead. And would you like to start off, Avi?
Sure.
You had a good point when we were
Um,
discussing.
when we were talking about Rourke and Cameron, and those are the two main characters that show incredible passion for what they do, we get a sense that they are antisocial not because they want to be, but because they can't really find similarities with people. They don't understand a lot of the people around them, which is a good connection with what we've been studying in class about the higher IQ a person has up to a certain point, uh, it's actually detrimental to their social life
Yeah.
because they can't really
But
connect
yeah,
with
Definitely.
people.
I realized, well, now that we learned about this lesson in class, it's funny because I thought about it the other day, and Rourke, to me, seemed like he just kind of, left, even though he got kicked out, he didn't, like the dean said, oh, your ideas are bad, and kind of said he was dumb, and Rourke just kind of took it and just kind of shrugged his shoulders and was like, all right, whatever, like, I'll go do my own thing, and yeah, I think that
Okay,
Rourke definitely thinks he's too smart for
along the
them.
lines, yeah, I agree with him. Along the lines of what Avi was saying with IQ, definitely Howard has, you could say Howard has a high IQ because he doesn't really function socially with other people. It seems like he's superior to other people, like he's on a different level that Keating can't really function with him. But um, at the same time, being smart and having an IQ doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful, which shows through with Keating, who you'd think he has a lower IQ, but he has those skills in his job
Well, he
office.
knows how to talk to people
Yeah,
and
he knows how to
bring
There,
talk to
other people
people.
there's
down and make himself look good,
Exactly, and
steal
exactly.
other people's work.
there's one very important point. And I think it's around page 100, so it's right at the end of the reading. We meet this new character named Mike, and Mike is a construction worker, and you would think that Rourke wouldn't waste time with Mike, who's just a construction worker, because he won't waste his time with Keating, who's this like close to being the CEO of a huge firm. But the difference being between Keating and Mike is that Keating knows how to talk. Mike knows how to do his job, and because of that, when Keating invites Howard out to go for a drink, Howard says, "No, I don't want to waste my time." But when Mike invites him for a drink, he's like, "Sure," because he can connect with people who are capable, and you get a good sense of that with the people who's with him,
Well, Mike just
Cameron
have a
and
higher
Mike.
IQ too, and
Well, you
might
don't
be
you
able
don't
to
get
relate.
that he's antisocial, Mike. Like Mike seems to be just a normal person, but whatever he does, he loves his job.
Well, let's bring up those couple our last couple blog posts where Rourke where you asked the question, is Rourke um, is Keating gonna destroy Rourke? Um, and I think I didn't add to it, but I think part of the reason why, and along with the intellectual concept of it, is that I think Rourke sees right through Keating, and he does, and I think that's why he doesn't want to spend his time with him, and because I think in a way Rourke kind of feels the sense that Keating, thinks he's above everyone else.
I get what you're saying, but I also want to add that since Rourke does help Keating whenever Keating asks, it's not that Keating gives him a picture and he says, "Well, I'm not going to help you with this because this is crap." He always tries to help
Well, that might
Keating
just
out.
be Rourke's good nature,
Yeah,
It could be Rourke's good
and that
nature,
might
but
be Rourke might feel that the only way right now to get his ideas out there is through Keating.
mhm.
So he might just feel like, all right, well, no one's gonna listen to me, but Keating has established himself in this nice firm. Why don't I just give my ideas to Keating?
yeah. I believe
As
it's
for
called like a
now,
symbiotic relationship that they're succeeding through each other.
Mhm.
But I kind of liked where you were going with the topic about Mike with the high IQ and how he can relate better to work, and I think that it makes sense what you're trying to say that they're able to like they're able to like fit better as friends, Howard and Mike, that is, rather than Howard and Keating, because they have that similar quality that they like to just do the work. They don't like the little bullshit of the job politics. They just like to get like to their work, and they like to do their job well.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of getting this sense of like the old group, you could say, like the old administration with Cameron and all the people who's connected with Cameron, like for one guy, Falcon, who has his huge firm, which started off as an internship with Cameron. You have Mike, who even after all these years, the only actual architect that he ever liked was Cameron. And now you have Rourke, who is doing everything he can to associate himself with Cameron. It seems like Cameron is a symbol for unconventional wisdom, if you will, while anyone who's not really connected with him tends to just kind of disappoint the reader with their inability to be original.
Exactly.
Like Keating.
Yeah, like
Well,
Keating, like
exactly.
the whole firm, Franken and Higher firm, the entire firm. Definitely, I can see where that theme is in play. But that's along the lines of what we were saying in the past, in previous posts, and in the first video about how how like to succeed you have to like conform, and you have to like do all this. You have to like change your style, change your talents, whatever you feel natural doing, just so that it sits well with the other people.
Well, that's why
the
Rourke
administration.
obviously isn't succeeding, because he knows
Exactly.
he knows that he knows that everyone else are morons, and that his ideas are, you know, are correct or right.
Well, the thing is, which is interesting about the idea of making this architecture and not like I don't know, a mathematical genius, is that you can't prove you're right. You can't say that you're right, but the difference being because it's art.
There's
Art
no
is
right.
on the perception, exactly.
It's your
So it's not that Rourke believes that everyone else is wrong. It's he believes that he has part of the right. He also has an answer, and you see this whole unanimous decision, almost unanimous, by society to just make sure that no new ideas come up. And that's terrible for any art form. And you kind of see freedom of expression here is being shut down by society.
there's a lack of it, pretty much. Yeah. We're coming to the end of the video right now. We're on a limit, but if you guys want to add any last things, any last words for our audience?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Predictions. What do you think's gonna happen next?
I'll predict. I don't see any major changes. I think that well, to an extent, I think that Keating's gonna continue down his path. I think he's still gonna be this selfish, like, excuse my language, he'd be like a selfish prick, and he's gonna try to to knock other people down in his way to achieve the success and achieve the highest position possible that he can achieve. But I think that that's probably going to lead to his downfall. I think that in the end, the author is going to try to play with that and give a point that the end doesn't justify the means. Being an asshole just to get to the highest position rank,
Well, real quick before I forget, I just thought of like an analogy. Wouldn't you say the firm and also the dean I know it's way back, but the dean at the school, wouldn't you say that whole business is kind of like a dictatorship? The fact that no ideas can come in and that no one else can
It's
share
maybe
their
not a
ideas, but one-
dictatorship, but it's definitely totalitarian, where the people on top decide what you can do. I'm sorry, I think
that's no. I like how you said that. It's just I'm saying that in my previous post when I keep linking the history behind the book with the author to the government that she lived under, the suppressive government she lived under, not exactly communism, but also that
it was
how
totalitarian.
how it was totalitarian, how it became corrupt. That's what I was trying to link it to. So I'm glad that now we're all on the same page, and keep following our blog, and we'll see you weekly, but we'll see you again in video in a month. Peace, guys.